Good morning. I want to talk to you today about how in the world we get into some of the situations we get into. You and I both know we find ourselves in positions that we cannot believe. And yet, how could we be so stupid? How could we be so illogical? How could I have gotten so weak that I made that decision? And you know what the answer is, don't you? We were overcome by our emotions. We felt lonely. We felt scared. We felt desperate. We felt like we were by ourselves facing the world, and if we didn't do something, or in some cases, we should have done something. We just sat there, whatever it might have been. We did the opposite of what we should have done. It led to a mess. First of all, God forgives you. Ask Him, get forgiveness, and go on. But I want to explain, let's somehow or another try to analyze that procedure so that we know how we got there. Now, psychologically, this is what takes place. The definition of frustration is the direct blocking of a goal. I want to do something, you won't let me, I get frustrated. A kid wants a piece of candy, you won't give it to them, they start to get frustrated. Then it leads to anger. And that is a accelerated frustration in which, and it could even be prompted out of fear, out of pain, but anger or protection, whatever it is, a mother cub, they get angry when they sense their responsibilities or their loved ones or what's under their care is threatened. Anger. But anger, if not dealt with, will go further and it leads to bitterness. Bitterness is when we lose something and we don't think we can get it back, and we develop something that is more accelerated than actually frustration and anger, but you don't very often see it. And most people don't have a way to really hide that. It comes out pretty soon, but they're bitter and they feel like they've been done wrong. They lost something. And you can lose time. Somebody's been in a relationship all these years and they find out that their husband cheated on them and say, I gave you all those years and I've lost time. I've lost the valuable feeling of trust that I placed in you. And so what happens? I can't get that back. And unless that's dealt with biblically, somebody gets bitter. Not only time, they can lose their health, they can lose their innocence. I knew someone years ago, and this happens all the time, of course. I'm not trying to underestimate it, but somebody had molested their children, which is horrific, and this person deserved what they got. But nevertheless, this man's loss of his children's innocence was something that would produce bitterness if not dealt with in that person. And so rather than going through all of that, but the immediate consequence of bitterness is you lose excitement. You lose energy because you're giving so much to all these other things. And so, but bitterness not dealt with comes into resentfulness. And resentfulness comes into revengefulness. Revengefulness leads to cruelty, and cruelty leads to self-destruction. Those are the progression of the destruction of a personality. Satan knows that. He wants to get us to go in that direction, whatever it might be. What does he tell us here in James 4:7? Submit to the Lord, resist the devil, and he'll flee from you. We must submit, first of all. It doesn't mean submit necessarily to something bad, but it does mean allowing the sovereignty of God to be the overarching truth in our lives, that God is in control. And Romans 8:28 works all day long. All things work together for good to those that love God and are called according to His purpose. Therefore, no matter what somebody does to me, no matter how bad it is, I'm not going to go down this road of self-destruction. I'm going to release the pain. And how am I going to do that? I'm going to share with God honestly. I have been hurt. There is loss. God help me. You get grace to forgive that person. God resists the humble, but he gives grace. He resists the proud, but he gives grace to the humble. Give me the grace to forgive this person. Give me the grace to go on. Give me the grace, God, to obey you. And God will do that. God will get you through this, and he will see you through to blessing. He is faithful. God bless you.